All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Good deal. Yes. Welcome to Prime's Friday morning meetings. Today is Friday, November 4th, 2022. And we're off. Beautiful day here in Springfield. Wake up this morning, 65 degrees. I figure I'm going to wear shorts today. So we'll see what happens. On top of that, man, I'm hoping tomorrow, I'm hoping this may be my last Friday morning meeting. The only reason I say that is because if I hit that Powerball tomorrow night, I'm out of here. 100, and what do they say? 1.5 billion. I think half of that you get in cash, 750 million. I was telling Mr. McCoy, just because he's my friend, I may slip him a few bills too. So, because
he's been shopping for an island down the Bahamas already. So
yeah, you don't want me buying Prime and make. No, this is what you got Robert for. This is why this place works. It's not because of Dave White. No, that wouldn't be a very good wise investment, no doubt. So, but anyway, yeah, welcome everyone. This morning, I'd like to go out to our terminals. Let's start out east today. Let's go out to Pittston, Pennsylvania. Do we have Mr. Rick Gifford?
Good morning, Dave. Don't start spending that money already, because that's going to happen up this way.
Oh, you think so, huh? Yeah. If it does, Rick, just remember me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll buy you lunch.
What's going on up there today?
Hey, we had a great week this week. We had about 25 in class, and they were just a great group of drivers that are coming in, and also applicants just looking to get their CDL, and they're down the pad now and working on their pre-trips and backing and pulling forward. Yeah, great week.
That's good, man. How's the weather up there? You guys doing pretty well so far?
We're doing all right. First week in November, we're looking at 70 degrees into this weekend, and yeah, it's really nice. Not in like 60 degrees for next week. So yeah, it's nice weather.
There you go. Perfect for rake and leave, so to speak. So.
Well, I just let them. I just let them lay there, and they go down into the ground, and that's great mulch.
That's true. Yeah, I mow them up with my mower. I don't usually rake, but I shouldn't say I put my 15-year-old on the mower and have him do it, so it gives him something to do and earns a little extra cash. So.
Well, I don't have any 15-year-olds to do that, so that's I is me. So I just let it lay there.
There you go. I hear you. So if you guys got any questions this morning, Rick, make sure you holler at us. We'll get you on the mic.
Hey, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, let's go out west to Salt Lake City. We got Mr. Troy Rich.
Hey, hang on. Let me push that button again. How are you?
I knew you have that piped in, man. I know you do.
How's it going?
We are doing good. How about yourself?
It's 27 degrees in Salt Lake City. It's going to snow all day tomorrow, so we get a little different than y'all are up there.
I hear you. Do you do a little skiing, do you, at all, Troy? I know Brian does, but I didn't know about you.
Yeah, no, it is not a pretty picture when I try to ski. It's not. Just look out. Just people go, get the hell out of the way. Yeah, no, it's not good. So, no, I'm not a skier. I snowmobile. There's a big difference there.
I hear you. I remember my younger years, we're out in Colorado, and some guy looked at me. He goes, it's people like you that injure other people up here in the mountain. I think he had a point. Yeah, you're right. I'm with you.
Remember those old commercials where the snowball would the guy would fall and the big snowball would go around him? And yeah, that's what it looks like when I ski.
I hear you. So, well, good deal. If you got any questions or whatever, comments, make sure you get people on your mic this morning. We'd love to hear from you.
Will do. Yeah, we got a huge crowd here, so you might get some questions today. So
that's awesome. Anything comes up, let us know. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, back here in Springfield. Good morning. Oh, yeah. I think we topped all of them, no doubt. So this morning I'm up front. I got Mr. Steve Field here. Oh, maybe not. I think Steve took the day off. So no, Steve and Dennis are off today. So I'm kind of going at this alone. So it's been a few years since I've done one of these alone. Years ago, we used to do these. Remember old Don Lacey? And Don was gone. He'd have me do them. And if I was gone, Don would be up here alone, which was no problem for Don. Don was never lost for words. So, but no, we'll make this work today and look forward to talking to everybody. My name's Dave White, and I work in the safety department, so glad to see everybody. Want to give a big shout out to all of our operators out there on the road, too. Those that are doing all the work, delivering the freight, picking up on time, delivering on time, doing it safely. Appreciate everything you all do. If you're listening to this podcast, we got Mitch over here. We're putting it out on Facebook or YouTube live as well. So this is a live broadcast we shoot out there, and it's recorded, too, as well. So if you can't get to it, you're driving or something and you want to watch it later, you can do that. You just subscribe to Facebook or YouTube and you can watch our Friday morning meetings. We love to have you guys watch them and comment on them. Anything we could do a little bit better, that's what this is about. So I'd like to take this opportunity too to ask all of our new folks in orientation. Most of you are wearing yellow vests, but if you're not, if you're new to orientation this week here at Prime, Salt Lake, Pittston, or here in Springfield, if you could stand and be recognized, love to give you a round of applause. So stand on up. All right, welcome to Prime, everybody. And hopefully you've done your checks on us and you looked at us before you came into orientation, see if we're the right company for you, see if we're a fit. I know we've done our background checks on you, and some of you are still going through that with the physicals and drug tests and orientation, and some of that stuff gets a little bit monotonous, but hopefully you're learning, because this is a big learning curve for anybody new getting in the industry. I love seeing the ladies here at this table too. A couple of you, 3 of you sitting there. It's great. This is a great, yeah, give them a round of applause. Yeah. Female drivers here at Prime hold a special place in our heart. There's no doubt. We got about 14% of our fleet are female. The national average for trucking companies is about 7% for females, but here at Prime, we double that. Love our female drivers. And once again, if you guys have questions, you have, comments, whatever, make sure you ask your trainer, ask your fleet manager. You ask us in safety too as well, because it is a learning situation. And read those manuals and do what they tell you. And not only that, once you do get out on your own, don't take shortcuts. We don't want you taking any type of always do pre-trip inspections every time your vehicle stops. Don't think you can get away with not having to do one, because that's when something will happen to you. That's when you get pulled in for an inspection, or you'll have an accident, or you don't connect to that trailer properly when you're backing up underneath it, and because you didn't get out and look at the fifth wheel, the kingpin, and it didn't connect right, and you drop a trailer, and we got damage, and it just goes down and trickles on down. It's like a domino effect. So make sure, follow what they're telling you to do. If you have any questions, you ask, because that's most important. Just remember this, though, your safety is always number one here at Prime. So safety of you and the motoring public will always stay number one. So that load you got, maybe times it's a little bit late, that's okay. Just communicate with your fleet manager, and he or she, they'll get that taken care of with our sales department. But we want you there to arrive and be out on the highway safe at all times. So let's slide into a little bit of safety, why don't we? So for that part, I'm going to bring up kind of a new person for us here. She's been up once before, but Stephanie Ewing, I'm going to have her come on up. Yeah, grab that mic there, Stephanie. Now, Stephanie's kind of a unique situation here at Prime coming in. We usually don't get somebody that has 13 years of over-the-road experience and then a year and a half of working live load calls, which she's done. Not only that, you're 11 months short of getting 2 million safe miles. So you and your husband, Chris, you guys did a wonderful job. We love having you in-house, though, because you do a great job, too, as well. So
Yeah, we love being in-house.
What do you got for us this morning? I'm going to have you cover the inspections, so go for it.
Okay, so last week inspections, we had 173. Of that 173, 125 was clean. That is a 72% paid out inspections. So y'all rocked it last week. Of that, we paid $11,175. That's 2 weeks in a row that we've paid $11,000 for clean inspections. You guys are amazing. So with that, we're going to get into a little bit of inspections that I've seen lately that we might need to work on a little bit. First things first, the first thing an officer is going to ask you, driver's license, proof of insurance, registration. We've been getting written up a lot for not having trailer registration with us. You have to provide it. Do your pre-trip, do a thorough pre-trip. Make sure that you have the registration for everything. The permit book, you can drop it in Springfield. The permit girls will be more than happy to help you out. Make sure it's good and that you guys are legal for it. The trailer, the tube and the nose of the trailer there, make sure that the registration's there. If you don't have it and you're on the road, after hours, you can call Driver's Line up in Springfield. They can fax the permit to you wherever you're at, give them a good fax number, or permits can. All right, so then you can call permits and they'll give you the registration for the trailer. Out West chain law is now in effect. We have already received our first chain ticket. It is law. Y'all have to have chains on your tires or chains on your truck in case it goes into effect. We've already received one in Colorado. I know it's a pain. Y'all, we have to have chains. It's law. Don't have to use them. Lord knows I never did. My rule of thumb, chains are in effect. I don't put them on, I park. That was my rule when I was a driver.
And not only chains, but auto socks they're legal too to
Socks,
use as well.
cables.
Yeah, that's right. Make sure you have all those. That's correct. Yep.
Make sure that you know how to put them on correctly too.
There you go. Yep.
That's important. If
And
you
if-
do have to use them.
If you don't know how, out in lineup, I believe they have a device out there. They'll show you how to put them on.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Over in the plaza, yeah, if you don't know how to put cables on or chains on your tires, they got a little system set up. They'll show you how out there. So make sure you ask because that's important to know how to do in case you need to do it. And many times too, I've talked to operators, they pull into a truck stop, there's a snowstorm coming. Sometimes you're better to throw a couple of chains on or a couple auto socks on your drive tires because in the morning when you get up, if there's 6, 8, 10 inches of snow, chances are you're going to have snow all around your truck and you're going to have to try to get out. You don't want to have to call a wrecker because you're stuck. So those socks or those chains to be able to get you out of that snow and get you out on the highway where you can then take them off and you're good to go. So just a word of advice there. I've heard that really works well.
Yeah. Another thing, anytime you guys get an inspection, regardless if it's clean, you got written up for anything, a citation, personal vehicle or in the commercial vehicle, scan it into us. We can help you with your personal vehicle citations too. Does not have to be in the commercial vehicle in order for us to help you. Scan it in, let us help you. And then we'll shoot you a QC message. We'll be in touch if it's a citation, asking how you want to proceed. If you want it payroll deducted, we will be more than happy to payroll deduct it for you and take care of it. And that way you guys don't have to worry about it. You guys did your part and then let us help you. We're here to help you guys out, okay? If you do have just an inspection, you can scan it on the Prime app. So you go to trip documents, the code for inspection is IN. The code for citation is CT. Either one of those will be directed towards me or Sarah Vess. We will take care of it. We'll get it entered. If it's a citation, we'll ask how you guys want to proceed. Do you want a lawyer? Do you want payroll deduct? Do you want to handle it yourself? Whatever that, just let us know, communicate with us, and that way we can help you, okay?
Whatever you do though, just don't pay it, correct? Because some of those
Don't.
citations, you really have an impact on your CDL.
Yes. Let us see the citation before you guys jump the gun and pay it. Some of them are moving violations. Some of them are serious. Some of them are major. If you are found guilty of a major violation, your CDL is disqualified. No ifs, ands, or buts. If the judge finds you guilty, you're disqualified. Two or more serious violations in a 3-year period, your CDL is disqualified. I don't want to make it sound scary. That's why let us help you, okay?
And that includes too, doesn't it? Personal vehicles as well. So if you get a super speeder, you get really caught going really fast in your Mustang because you're out having a good day on a Sunday afternoon, you just don't want to pay that ticket. Get a hold of citations because you're required to let us know on any ticket in any vehicle. So it could be a motorcycle, car. We're required to document that and know what we're going to do with it. And, you just don't want to pay them and think that Prime will never find out about it because we do have an MVR monitoring service we use. So there will be a time that we're going to get notified if you think you're just going to get rid of it and then it's going to disappear. It doesn't. It'll show up on your record and it'll hit ours too as well. So.
And then once you scan in the inspection, the citation, whatever it is, give us a call the next business day. If you get a citation, let's say someone gets one tomorrow and they scan it in. Sarah and I don't work on weekends. So give us a call probably Tuesday, because Monday we're getting caught up from the weekend. Give us a call on Tuesday and say, hey, I got an inspection, I got a citation. I just want to make sure y'all got it. That's fine. You can reach Sarah or myself. I have the phone numbers if anyone wants them. Just give us a call. Let us know. We're here to help you guys. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I got.
So, go ahead. Got a question right up here. Keith, can you hand in the mic? Hold on one second. We're going to get you on the mic there. There you go.
So just when you were talking about inspections and trailer registration.
Yeah.
The app has the trailer registration.
It does. And a lot
nobody should really be caught without being able to show that. Right?
Correct. And the only thing recently that we've been seeing is that an officer, if you have to say, well, I don't know where it's at, and you're playing on your app, trying to find it, the officer will then write you up for it. They want it where they ask for it, you give it to them. Okay, so if it is on the app, correct. But make sure you know how to get to that on the app.
Just want to make it clear that they can't take registrations from another trailer because they don't have one. That has been seen to happen.
Every registration is for that particular trailer. Yes. We can't just go up to a random one and pull it out and think we're in the green light, because we are not. Anything else?
And back to the app, that's a good point. And another thing to think about too, do you have cell coverage at every scale? If you get stopped out in the middle of Montana, where there may not be very many cell phone towers, can you get to it? Will it work? So, in order to get those clean inspections like she's talking about, that's what we're aiming for. That includes your paperwork as well. So your registration, your logbook, instruction card, all that counts. Even though it may not count as CSA points against us, but still that's part of getting a clean inspection. And speaking of clean inspections, this past week, we had over $11,175 we paid out. So that's 2 weeks in a row, Keith, over 11 grand. And I think with these numbers, we're going to have 3 weeks in a row. I think next week they'll be reporting again up over 11,000. So you do get paid on the clean ones, and that's what we want. We want
Robert will pay more. Robert will pay more. Just keep getting them clean. Robert will pay you more.
There you go. That's right. We got a great boss, and that's what he does, man. He pays you for performance, and that's performing, getting clean inspections is what it's about. So
one other thing I want to touch on really quick. This past week, for some reason, we've been getting hammered with overweight tickets, over trailer and over gross. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but we really, really need to be checking. We have the RightWay system. I know it's not always calibrated. It's not always correct, but we do have it for a reason to prevent this. Please use it, please. I'll get to you in a second. But we do have quite a few overweight tickets this week, or the last probably 9 days.
Go ahead, sir.
I am seeing, when I do a drop and hooks, I am seeing a lot of our trailers in like the third and fourth hole when I'm picking them up, and I can hardly reach my arm in there. So we have people that are not even sliding the tandems and looking at our trailer gauges. There's no way. So, I mean, that may be an answer to your question.
Yes.
But that's what I'm seeing when I'm out on the road.
And it's like I said, there's been quite a few over trailer axle and then over gross. We cannot be over 80,000 pounds. That is DOT. So we really need to be working on that a little bit more, because it was the citation of the week, I think. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be legal on your way. No better way to get an inspection is pull across the scale and you're overweight, and then that's a gimme. You're already behind the 8 ball there. You got a violation for being overweight. And now we're looking at possible fines that you'll have to pay. So make sure you're legal on your weights before you leave your customer or leave the O1, that everything's legal. So any questions here in Springfield or up in Pittston or Salt Lake? Oh, got another one, buddy. Go for it.
What I've been seeing, like you're saying, overweight on the trailer. What it is, a lot of these guys are ladies, both ways. When they look at that scale gauge, what I've learned is if I don't see any writing on there the last time it's been checked or that, I automatically go to a CAT scale. And that's what it is. They're just going in there and they're pulling it. And if they see it below that red zone, they think they're good. Don't always rely on it. Just to play safe, get a CAT scale.
Correct. We're hoping that everything is good. I mean, we put Robert put a lot of money into that RightWay, but we're hoping it's good.
Mr. Higgins, you want to say something?
Yeah, just real quick, and I know, buddy, you talk about taking trailers to CAT scales. I've got a little tip for you guys. I got a video that's here. I'll just get up here so everyone can see me for Utah and PA. I got a video coming out. Should be on the app. I can't remember. Ryan, is it on there already? Okay, you guys tune in on the app. Look at my new RightWay Scale video. It's just a couple of tips. It's kind of the starter one. We're going to make a second one here that's got a little bit finer detail, but there's a lot of problems that I see, and Stephanie and I were talking about this. A couple of tips. If you can get 34,000 pounds on your drives, and you got your gauge right there in the dash. If you can get 34,000 on your drives, you're golden. And you don't necessarily have to go to a CAT scale to check the trailer, because here's how it works. Any truck in our fleet can haul 45,000 pounds, every one of them. So by just the way the numbers work, okay, and 34,000 on the drives, 12,000 on the steers, or real close to 12, you'll be fine on the trailer. Check that gauge anyway, but I wouldn't waste the 12 or even 15 bucks I think it costs now to go check that trailer gauge. Check it, call in the right information to the live loaded calls that you check the gauges, okay? And you'll be ready to go. One last thing real quick, Peterbilt drivers. I see a lot of Peterbilt people, especially a little bit older, a couple-year-old Peterbilt. You got a slider that's really long. It's not the same Fontaine slider that we have on the Freightliners, but I see a lot of Peterbilt people with their fifth wheels too far rearward. So I want to just double check with you guys. Make sure, and here's the best way to check it. Almost all trucks should be, the kingpin should be 4 inches center of the drive axles. So eyeball where the tires come together, and just make your imaginary line or touch the dirt on your fifth wheel slider, and then everyone's hand is 4 inches from this side to this. So that's a really easy gauge. So put your hand there, give it an eyeball, and slide your fifth wheel forward to where the kingpin is 4 inches forward of the center line, okay? Super easy. Peterbilt people typically are running around 10.5 or 11,000 on the steers. You need to get weight up on the steers, okay? If you're not at 12, you'll never get to 80,000 pounds, okay? I hope that makes sense. If you're running at 11,000 on your steers, the best you can do is 79,000 gross, okay? So you can sub-optimize yourself. Thank you for letting me jump in.
That's great with the video, Paul. That's
a
awesome.
shameless plug for my new video.
There you go. Yeah, no kidding. He probably gets a little cut off that too, don't you? So, there you go. Yes, sir. Go ahead. One more question.
I had a question about the chains and auto socks. Is it legal to just have socks on your truck this winter?
Yep, you can do that. Yeah. Now remember, I'll be honest, one state that kind of is an oddball one when you're talking chains and cables, that's the state of Washington. They require 2 extra on your truck. So you have to have enough to cover 6 tires in Washington, and then on top of that, you got 2 extra. I don't like that 2 extra deal, but that's the way their laws are written up there, and they do enforce that. So if they see you've got 6, they'll say, "Where's your 2 extra at?" And if you go, "I don't have them," now you're in violation. So just remember, it's only the state of Washington that's checks that. So anybody else? I think we're going to move on. Good job, Stephanie.
Stephanie, you were on stage Wednesday night,
Yes,
and that was for,
my 15 years at Prime.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, was that, for those of you who don't, Buddy, you went to the 10-year. How many 10-year associates were there on Tuesday night?
175.
So we had 175 associates we recognized on Tuesday night for their 10 years of service. And then Stephanie and another group of folks came in for their 15 plus years of service. You can't say enough about a company that has that type of loyalty in the people there. Now, one of the interesting things about this one, Stephanie, we had 2 really unusual people that we recognized there. We had a 40-year and a
Yes.
45-year
Yes.
that we recognized. So Steve Binky in our customer service group upstairs, 40 years of service. Ann Perkins in accounting, 45 years of service. So awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thanks for helping me out today. You're
Not a problem.
you're my
I'll be over
safety
here after
person.
the meeting if y'all have any questions, okay?
There you go. She'll be off to the side. Awesome. Great to have her up here. So let's talk quickly about accidents. We did have a couple hiccups this week. We went so many weeks with doing so well, but these are situations that, hopefully they're a learning tool to you because this is why we bring them up. So Brian, could you bring up the first one? So this occurred the other day, pilot truck stop down in Greenville, Texas. The driver was just leaving the truck stop, making a right-hand turn, and the trailer went into the ditch and then just rolled over, just took it right over. So just inattention, that's what can lead to this. If you're not watching your mirrors, you're not seeing what's going on around you, not making that turn wide enough, you can't assume you run a trailer through the ditch or on the shoulder, because sometimes the shoulders will even give way at truck stops or rest areas or whatever it may be when you're making those turns. So thank goodness the driver wasn't hurt. That's the main thing there. She was able to get out and she's fine. But, we had a rollover package of freight in there that we had to take care of. We're still dealing with the customer on. And, unfortunately, she's no longer with us neither. So it's one of those situations that we have very little tolerance for. And but to keep in mind, though, safety is number one. There's no doubt about it. And that's why we show you. Hopefully, it's a learning tool for you when you're making that next left or right turn. You're always looking in those mirrors. I remember when I drove, I got a little complacent at times. And one accident cost me because I didn't look in my left-hand mirror. And that's the easy one. That's your driver's side mirror. And I ended up catching my trailer on another trailer. And I didn't roll over, but I damaged our trailer and I got charged with a preventable accident. It's true. I mean, it's my fault. So situation like this could be a lot worse. So let's go to the next one, Brian, please. This happened down in Tennessee. Mount Eagle, I-24. Many of you know that have driven that area before, but going down the mountain there and just going a little fast and got it off on his shoulder and it just sucked him right over went off into the woods. Once again, driver was able to walk away, thank goodness, single vehicle accident. But again, we've got some freight we got to deal with here too as well. And I think the freight here surprisingly came out better than what we thought it would. But, the truck was totaled. And once again, the driver's no longer with us. So, these types of situations, early morning too on this, that may have caused a little bit as well. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't know what the situation was on this truck because we haven't found out yet, but, watch using your crews early mornings, 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. I would highly recommend not using cruise control. Obviously, going down a mountain, you want to be using Jake brakes and all that to maintain your speed, maintain control of the truck, and if you have to get on the service brake as well. But, staying away from that cruise control, even flat stretches of ground, I'd highly recommend it. Just my previous experience, because you don't want to have that truck going down the road and you don't know what's going on. So daytime is much safer using a cruise. But anyway, any questions on those? So hopefully next week we'll get better. Just remember though, winter is flying. Major accident this morning out in Nebraska on I-80, I heard. It's like 6-7 trucks involved. Also chain laws in effect in Donner. They've even shut Donner past I-80 that goes over Nevada, California line. They've shut that down for a little bit as well earlier this week because of snow. That's a common occurrence out that direction. And, I'll be honest, if you're picking up freight Indianapolis or out east and you're heading to California, if you can run the southern route, that's where you want to get with your fleet manager this time of year. Ask them those questions because many times customers will pay a little bit extra to run south and then come up to California, up out of California, head up north there, get up to Northern California, Oregon. It's safer. And many times they'll shut I-80 down in Wyoming because of winds, because of snow. And you sit there 2 or 3 days. Well, heck, you could have ran south and made it up that way quicker anyway. So, but get with your fleet manager. Those are always options we're able to look at. And your fleet manager can get with sales and say, hey, does the customer want to pay for a little bit more miles on that load and make sure the load gets her running south? Because generally speaking, running down through New Mexico is a little bit better in the wintertime, obviously, than going up north through Wyoming and Utah and dealing with the wind and snow. So any questions? Winter driving? Well, we're about halfway through, so I'm going to bring up some speakers and get a little bit more interesting. So this morning, I'd like to ask Brandon Mallard to come up here. Brandon's in our HR department. We got a little benefit fair going on today out here. Have a little fun. So I'm going to let you take over for a little bit and I'll be quiet. Does that one work? Take this one, man.
All right. Well, you might have lied to him getting me up here saying we're about to get to something a little more interesting because I'm going to talk to you about insurance. So, as David mentioned, if you notice behind me here in Springfield, Jim looks like it's about to get a little crazy. So after 2 years of not being able to have a benefits fair with COVID, we're finally able to start getting some of these vendors out here. It's actually a pretty fun time if you're here in Springfield or you're going to be in here today. Swing by the gym. We have a ton of vendors. I think there's 30 plus vendors here with the insurance companies and other benefits that these companies offer Prime associates. So it's not all just insurance. Dr. Abraham, he'll be in there. He can talk to you about some of the services he provides. He's also giving flu shots. So if you guys need flu shots, they're in there. They can get those for you today. And those are, covered through Prime. Also, Dr. Popa, our on-site chiropractor, you can speak with him. Also, if you guys are looking for a companion out on the road, we actually have Rescue One here with some puppies. So if you want to go see them and maybe adopt a puppy or look into that, I mean, there are all sorts of vendors here for you to chat with. On top of that, if you visit some booths, there's raffle drawings. Guys, we've got some pretty good raffle prizes out there that we'll draw at the end of the day. There's a 55-inch screen TV, there's tablets, there's Bose speakers. So, definitely give them a thank you for coming out here and donating some of these raffle items and everything. Now, kind of on to the boring stuff. As far as open enrollment goes, company drivers, we're at the end of open enrollment here. It will end on November 11th, next Friday. So you really only have a week to make changes on your insurance, okay? So make sure you call the enrollment center, or you can see Lee. She's here in the benefits fair helping us out with that. She can help you get your plan changes made. As I said last week, open enrollment's a good time to look at your beneficiaries, look at your life insurance, make sure the people you care about are taken care of, okay? In the event that something does happen. Independent contractors, your open enrollment started November 1st, so this week. Yours is a little longer. You get to enroll through January 15th if you want to add plans or make changes. We have enrollment first. Dave Brill over here. He can get you enrolled if you want to meet with him in person. If you prefer to do enrollments over the phone, they have a call center as well. So we have lots of options for you. If you guys ever have any questions, I'm located in the HR department up here. Feel free to get a hold of myself or Trish and reach out. We're more than happy to help you out. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Yes. Vendors in there for independent contractors?
Absolutely. Dave Brill and his team. And there's even financial advisors in there that can help you with QPA that can help you on that end as well. So, yep, we have something for everyone there. Yep.
I just wanted to bring up real quick too, Brandon. I mean, this is one of these touchy areas, and that's
Absolutely.
life insurance.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we see, we got over 9,000 drivers here. So we got a small town, well, really mid-sized town, so to speak, involved with Prime. And we do have drivers that pass away from time to time. So think about that. Just a basic term life insurance, $25,000 can help your family out, and it doesn't cost very much at all.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. And, as Dave was saying, on the company side, we have 3 different products. Enrollment first. Dave, how many do you have? Probably 4 or 5. There's a lot of options over on the independent contractor side. If you're looking for a basic policy, if you enroll with enrollment first, you get put into their association, and just their association has a $10,000 policy that comes with it. So, we want to make sure you're taken care of. Not something anybody likes to think about, but it can be important because you want to make sure that if something does happen to you, that your loved ones are taken care of. You know?
Yeah, because it's expensive on that. I know I've lost both my parents and a brother, and you'd be surprised what it costs to, the burial and their service and all that. And even if you do cremation, it's kind of a steep price, and to leave that on your family because you're no longer around is, it's something to think about. That's all I say. Some people are game, and I'm not telling you guys go out and get $250,000 in life insurance, but just something basic to be able to cover. That's very nice for your family and be able to handle you. And hate to say this one, but none of us know how long we're going to be here on this great planet. So hopefully you take care of yourselves. But that being said, it's
yeah. And to be honest with you, you bringing that up, we had a high schooler come in for a school project a couple weeks ago, and he sat with Aaron, my manager, and I, and was asking us about our jobs. And he asked me, what's the toughest part about your job? And it's honestly, if somebody passes away, having to talk to their family and tell them that there was no life insurance, and bare minimum, they're trying to figure out how to cover the expenses. I'm not going insurance guy on you, anything like that, but once again, it's not something we like to think about, but definitely just make sure your loved ones are thought of.
There you go. Any other questions for Brandon? Great job this morning. Appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Guys. Appreciate it.
Enjoy that fair out there. It's a good time. Go ahead, put it right there. That's fine. So next, obviously, we're talking winter weather before driving. Tires are very important. So I'm going to bring up Kevin Bergman and Doug Tam. If Doug's here, if Doug wants to join him, or you going solo, Kevin?
I upgraded.
You upgraded.
Doug is out today. I forgot.
So you're going first class, aren't you?
Sam Messick.
Oh, you got Sammy coming up? All right.
Sam Messick. So hi, I'm Kevin Bergman. I run our shops here at Prime, and we will give a little shameless plug to our shop availability. Man, if you're out on the road and get work done, need work done, we have availability in Salt Lake and Pennsylvania. We have a lot of work in Springfield. So the more we can push out to Salt Lake and PA, the better it will be for you guys. They can get you in and get you out back on the road quickly. One other thing, driver advisory board was earlier this week, had a lot of good feedback from our drivers to us and us to them about what we're doing. I think that the new guys here, new ladies, use the Ask Dab on your app, ask the questions about where that's at, and they'll answer all those questions. It's a really great group of guys we have in there. So with that being said, I did years ago, I challenged Michelin. We were at a TCA or an ATA or TMC or something. And I said, man, I think we do a pretty dang good job with our tires, but prove it to us that we're not. And so they said, okay. So over the last few years, we've been working very tightly with Michelin about telling us how we can improve. And that's what we're really doing here. So if you guys could all kind of start coming up here. We have our Michelin group flew in yesterday, and I'll tell you, we have great partnerships, and we have a lot of our partners back there in the corner. If you have questions on your Freightliner, Thermo King, Carrier, Volvo, International, whatever it is, we have great on-site reps. But these guys are our strategic partners in tires. And when we say partnerships, and I'll introduce it's Phil and Ronaldo and Steven. We have great partners, and you said yesterday we were having some dinner together. He said we in this industry we use partnerships very lightly. So I came up with a new one this morning: strategic partners. So that's new to us, and we're excited that they're in here to announce some things we're going to do together. I didn't really give you any time, but yeah, good. All right. Take that.
Hey, good morning, everybody. First of all, thanks for having us. I think, Kevin, what you shared about partnership is something that we take very seriously. And I think just to, before I make the key announcement, I think something that Kevin touched on about them challenging us. You guys challenged us. Your leadership team challenged us. I think it's one thing to ask difficult or the right question. It's another thing to ask the difficult questions. And I think when we think about partnership, you have to ask each other difficult questions. So with that being said, we spent a lot of time at our research and design facility. We spent time at our proving grounds. So when we talk about what took place, it wasn't just the questions. It was being able to look at the casing, being able to look at the temperature generated in that casing, being able to look at stopping distance, being able to look at traction, everything you can think of about the performance that we bring and what we say, not just from a marketing perspective, but factually. Kevin and team held us accountable and said, why are we not better? So we're proud to announce that we have a 5-year agreement that will be taking place. That 5-year agreement is a partnership that is a commitment between Prime and Michelin around co-developing and producing state-of-the-art retread. Your EcoTread is going to continue to be state-of-the-art, and we're very, very excited. Just not about the agreement, but the opportunity to continue to further that partnership, get better and get better together. So thank you for all of you and all that you're doing, and we just are very, very proud to have that partnership be continued. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll just put in a plug here. I'm on the finance side of the world, but we're really excited about Michelin being part of the team because, we did a darn good job at producing the products that we had through EcoTire, but that's what these guys do every single day, right? I mean, they're the best of the best. They're the leaders in the industry at producing retreads and virgin tires. And so these guys are every day working to make our products better and better, right? We're out there producing, our guys over at EcoTire are producing and maximizing efficiencies and making sure the quality of the product is good that we're producing, but they're not having to worry about all of the R&D and speccing and things. That's what these guys are doing, and that's what they're really good at. So we're really excited about it, and we're confident this is going to, at times, retreads have a little bit of it's a misconception in the industry. There's definitely a misconception about the quality of a retread, but there are good retreads and there's bad retreads, and we're confident this is just going to continue to solidify our position, our product as a top-notch product in the industry, in the fact that we're partnered with the best. We're excited to have you guys on board.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. And we're excited. And and the partnership goes beyond just retreads. Obviously, we go to virgins. We, I forget what you exactly call it, but we get to develop the next generation tires. The LED 2 is our first one. We got to look at and give our input on and test with. The next generation tires, we've already seen them. We know what they are, but we got to do a little changing here and there. But we're excited about it, and we're excited about what we're doing together. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Sam, stay up here, man. You're not done yet. So, no, I'm not going to let Sam get off the hook too easily here. We got so many people here at Prime, in-house people that do so much for our operators that make us more efficient, more successful. Sam's one of these guys. Obviously, he's up here talking about tires. Next, I'm going to throw the old fuel question to him, man. Are we going to run out of fuel like in 5 days, like I heard? I heard an operator, he called me yesterday. He said, true, I'm going to run out of diesel in 5 days. I'm like, well, watch the Friday morning meeting because I got Sam coming up. We're going to throw that at you. So go ahead.
Good deal. Yeah, we've been getting the question a lot. And I guess just touching back on tires, just talking about fuel strategy in general, fuel costs, as everybody knows right now, are just crazy high, right? I think it's so powerful when you look at, Prime is one of the, we are definitely the largest fleet that is all in on wide-base tires, right? And there's weight savings, but there's also some fuel savings to be had there, right? Huge benefit to you all as independent contractors, and obviously a benefit to Prime and our company units in the fact that we're bought into the wide-base strategy and have been through the highs and lows of fuel prices, but especially right now that strategy pays off. But diesel supply overall across the country is extremely tight right now. I think context is important right now. I've said this to several people. If you look, the United States generally, just on average, let's say, would have somewhere between 35 and 40 days worth of diesel supply on hand at any given time. It honestly, that it was shockingly low to me several years ago when I started digging into some of these metrics and stuff. But so now we're down to about, let's say, 25 to 26 days on hand over the last month. So it's definitely down, but it's not like we've halved, right? Or it's a quarter of what it's always been. It's down, but it's not quite to just critical emergency level yet. So we're keeping a close eye on the diesel supply. Over the last 4 weeks, it's steadied. So it's not gone back up, but it's steadied. This time of the year, you have a ton of winter heating oil purchasing going on, pre-purchasing that's going on, right, as we start to get into the colder months of the year and things. I would say the biggest thing that's going on in the market right now, and honestly, it has been over the last 18 months, is that supply is short, but it's really, it crops up in different areas of the country at different times, and suppliers are just having to be really creative in getting product to the pump, right? So we might have a shortage in the Southeast and they have to truck a bunch of product down into the Southeast, but they're finding ways to get product to the retail location. So we're not seeing, we've really only seen maybe 1 or 2 truck stops run out of fuel, and it wasn't because fuel wasn't available somewhere, they just couldn't get it trucked into their facility. So we're not super worried that this is going to be something as it stands today that's going to cause major issues or major shortages at the pump for you. The other thing that I'll mention, and it's a plug for our partner, for our really strategic partner, key partner on the fuel side of the business, which is Pilot Flying J. Pilot Flying J is the biggest fuel vendor in the country when it comes to retail diesel sales, and they by far control the most upstream fuel supply, diesel supply of any of the major truck stop chains in the United States. That's a big win for us, right? Because that means if TA or Loves or anybody else, and we love those folks and hope this doesn't happen to them, but if they run out of product, Pilot's going to be the very last to run out of product. It's why we partner with folks that are the best at what they do, right? Which Pilot would definitely be in that category. So we're watching it. We're concerned about it. We'll communicate to you all. It's not something that we're in all-out stress mode or emergency mode yet at this point in time. I don't expect it to get there. I expect these inventories to rebound a little bit and things to get back to a more normal level. But that's just a quick update for you. If you have any questions, if we're not communicating enough, let us know. We'll probably send out a weekly update until the issue kind of goes away. But
any questions for Sam? Nothing, man. You did pretty good. Knocked it out of the ballpark. Thank you. Yep. Give him a round of applause. Yeah, I did a good job. Next, I'd like to bring up Robert Dotson. Robert, come on up. Thank you for joining me this morning. These microphones don't bite, so you'll be fine. We're wearing a Tennessee hat, #1 in the nation. That's right. We got a new team, man. Alabama, move on down, right? So how long you been with us, Robert?
13 years.
All right, you run in what division?
Reefer.
What do you think of Prime? 13 years, long time.
I love it. I ain't going nowhere. I retired once and came back. I couldn't stand it at home.
What kind of advice could you give all of our new folks here for driving when heading to that time of year? What do you practice out there on the highway?
Listen to your trainer. Slow down. You can't go nowhere on that ice. There might be snow here, but under it's going to be nothing but ice. You can drive the snow, ice. You ain't going to drive on barking. Prime will back you up for it.
There you go. Thank you. You served in the military. What branch?
Navy.
How many years?
20, 15 on submarines.
Wow, 15. That takes a lot, right? Yeah, big round of applause there.
Can all of our veterans stand up and be recognized, please?
Thank you for your service, Robert. Appreciate it. Thank you for operating here at Prime, too, as well. And thanks to everybody's service who served in the military. Usually this is the part here, and we hand over the mic to Steve Woodkey, and then Robert gets up here, but today they're not able to be here. Just want to say a couple parting words before I get off on the safety front. Remember, drive your truck to your ability and to the conditions that are present out there for the weather. So when you're out there driving, you're going to see, hey, you're going to see somebody, it starts snowing, you're going to see trucks run 65, 70 miles an hour passing you. That doesn't mean you run that fast. So, whatever your ability is, if you're from Florida, you're from South Louisiana, maybe haven't seen a whole lot of snow and it starts snowing and you don't feel comfortable, pull it off, get it parked. Your experience will come along the way, and that's okay. It's okay to park it, get a hold of your fleet manager and communicate that. So also another item, limit your distractions too as well. So keep those distractions inside the cab to a bare minimum. I know we allow you to talk on your headset, one touch mic or one touch button on your headset, and you can talk to family and such, but be aware too, long-winded conversations distract you from what's going on around you. So those long-winded conversations with your wife or your girlfriend or your son or daughter, whoever it may be, you do lose concentration of what's going on around you. So keep those to a minimum. Wait till you stop, you get to a truck stop rest area, then have those conversations. And you're a much safer driver out there on the highway. So want to thank everybody. I'd like to next bring up Keith McCoy. Keith is celebrating his 32nd year here at Prime today.
Thank you.
Way to go, brother. Way to go. Where did it start for you at? Where trucking start for you? I mean, I know you've been in trucking longer than 32 years, but what do you?
Yeah. I started off at Tri-State Motor Transit when I got out of college. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tri-State, but
they're down here in Joplin, right?
Right. Yeah, they're known for, they haul explosives and they haul heavy equipment. So when I went to work for Tri-State, I would go out to auctions all over the country and break down large pieces of equipment, D9s or Caterpillars or cranes or whatever, and price them to move them to different locations. So I spent most of my time doing that. And then I got involved in the explosive side and transportation of explosives. And that was an interesting sidekick on that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was interesting. Yeah.
And then I met a guy named Don Lacey at Contract Freighters. And Don hired me in basically to do some sales and marketing work and administrative work there. And I eventually became the vice president of sales and marketing at CFI. Moved on from there to a couple other places. And then Don was here at Prime and called me one day and he said, you need to come here and visit with Robert Fred Mertz. He said, this is a different kind of trucking than what you've had in your past experiences. This is something different here. So I met Robert and Fred and talked to them, and they hired me, and I've been here ever since.
That's awesome. We're glad we have you, man. How's the freight market going out there, by the way?
You know, freight's pretty good. We're running about 21% up on revenue side. On the revenue per mile side, we're probably up about 12%, 13%. Still, it's a little spotty in Florida. The hurricane didn't do us any favors. And it's going to take those guys a while down there to recover from that down south. California has been spotty. That's the drought out there really killed the produce market. It never really came back. Produce in the process of shifting back down into the Arizona market now. So we think that's going to stabilize and it's going to be better out that way. But you know, they put wheels on a truck for a reason. We're going to run to where the freight is and keep you guys moving. The holiday season's coming up. So this is the time of year when it's going to be busier than it usually is because of all the stuff that's going into the stores and meeting all those needs. So if you're going to work for the holidays, our customers are going to appreciate it. They really need the support during that time of year. If you're not totally cool with that, you know, we want you to spend time with your families and enjoy that time too.
And keep in mind on these holidays, there's more cars on the road. You know, be safe.
Hey, we're happy to have Daryl Hopkins up here. Daryl's our controller here at Prime, oversees pedigree and success leasing, and amongst the many other things Daryl works on. So you're going to close it out for us, man. You're our bullpen. You're it.
All right. Well, I got it. So Keith's kind of set me up here because recognizing him for 32 years, you know, so this has been a big week. We've had 3 different events this week. Kevin mentioned Driver Advisory Board on Monday. Well, that is a incredibly powerful event. I mean, this is in-house management meeting with a voted in group of drivers that represent you. And trust me, they represent you. I mean, we go in to tell them, well, here's the things we're going to do or thinking about doing. And we get questioned. We get drilled sometimes because they make it clear to us that we might make a decision, but they're going to get all the questions in the heat. And it's accurate. I mean, I don't empathize with them. I think they got a tough job. But it is a fantastic event because this is really frank discussions and feedback. It really helps guide us because sometimes we think we know the right path and then we get corrected. So great event. And then it's followed up by Tuesday and Wednesday. We had the 10-year dinner and the 15-year dinners. Now, if you don't think you're at the right company, our 10-year dinner, and this is folks who've been here 10 consecutive years. This is drivers, this is office, shop, it's everybody. We had 180 people that hit 10 years this year. Now, they weren't all at the dinner, I admit that, but 180. That's huge. it has gotten so big, we had to split it into 2 nights. We used to do the 10, 15, 20, 25, all in one night. Can't do that anymore. There's so many people. And it's such a fantastic event because, man, you get to recognize and talk to folks that have been with you and learn something about them you may not even have known. I sat with CW at the 10-year dinner, and I learned a lot about him. And so it was awesome. Our 15-year dinner, we recognize people have been here 30, 35, 40. We have a lady, she works for me actually. She's been here 45 years. It's incredible. So if you don't think you're at the right company, think about that. Those people don't stick around because they're at the wrong place. I'll just tell you right now. It's a fantastic endorsement, I think, of the program we have here and what we're doing. So again, I just think they're amazing events. It's the kind of thing that pumps you up and carries you for a long time after you go to them. So I'm encouraging all of you. I'm congratulating you folks for making the decision you did. I truly think you're going to find out it was one of the best decisions you've ever made. So in the words of Robert, we really care about you. We want you to be safe. Take care of your health. Take care of your finances. We're here to help with that. We've got a DHF program that helps you with your health. Really want to look at the whole picture, everything that affects you, and make sure we're there to be a part of that. So thank you all very much for what you do. You're the lifeblood of this company, and we appreciate you more than you know. Please be safe and have a great weekend.
You made that easy, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Good job.
Yes, ever had